So we were talking about greed, right? Greed, really important. Why is the topic of greed so important? Because it's so related with all the things we've been talking about today, like health, work-life balance, finances. Just think about it. Especially here in America, there's so much greed. I mean, in the whole world, but I think in America, because of how well or how successful capitalism has been in this country, where the society, the system, everything is just assigned to feel that nothing is enough. Right? I mean, you get a job promotion, you start making more money, you get a better title. But hey, there's another position that is still higher than yours, that this one guy in the office, Jimmy, might have. And he maybe makes another $30,000 over what you make. So you are not happy. You want Jimmy's job. Right? Even though the responsibilities and the duties and work-life balance might be horrible for Jimmy, but hey, Jimmy's making $30,000 on top of what you're making, and he has a better title than you. So it's your ego. You always feel like you need to keep climbing the corporate ladder, which, I mean, that's what they make you believe. And that's why I was talking about greed, not being enough, of how it's like this endless cycle of always wanting more. And I do believe, I think a lot of people don't think about a realistic future. And I'm talking from experience, from conversations that I have had with a lot of successful people. Right? Because as a coach, working at gyms where a lot of wealthy individuals were members of, and people that I got to the privilege to know well and learn from their lives. I mean, a lot of them would share a lot of similar stories, about the same climbing in their careers, businesses, making more money. And one of the things that I noticed is like a lot of these people would get to that point where they achieve what the system wanted them to achieve, which was the highest title possible, the highest income possible, the highest retirement they could achieve. But then I would see like a lot of them wouldn't even know what to do. Like, what's next? I did what the system told me to do. Work as hard as I can. That's your main goal, right? Work as hard as you can, save as much as you can, invest as much as you can. Even though you might be compromising other things like time with your family, your health, and you see this pattern of like, you see how life is so, I don't know how to say it. Balance comes by itself, because these people, since they had to make all those sacrifices with relationships and their health, guess what they're looking after when they are retired? They're craving for that human connection. They are craving better health. But what's the reality? People keep going to doctor appointments, taking all these meds, struggling to make friends because, I mean, they push away relationships because they were so busy with their careers. That's why there's like an epidemic of loneliness in this country. But like, all of the answers are right there. And I can tell you guys, I mean, I don't know if one of the reasons I decided to have this lifestyle, I mean, one of the people that I look up the most was my grandmother, Gumersinda. She was one of the wisest ladies. Like, she was so smart. No college smart, of course, right? She didn't have like academic education, but the amount of wisdom that she had from human relationships was just unmatched. I mean, everyone loved her. My whole family, I mean, family, friends. I mean, I do remember that was one of the most amazing experiences that I remember from my younger years when I was in Mexico, going to my grandmother's birthday every year. It was just such a blessing. And luckily, my wife was able to experience that with me and see why it was so special for me, because seeing so many people getting together for a person, especially someone like my grandmother, you know, she was really old, getting really old, because I mean, I was able to be at the, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99. And the last birthday I was able to be present at was the 100, which, wow, I mean, this is just amazing. You know, she passed when she was 101, which was right during the pandemic, 2020. She turned 101 on April 1st, 2020, and then she passed a couple of weeks after. But what I was talking about was how the life she had was so simple. She owned land that my grandfather bought, you know, away from the noise of the city. And I remember she passed her house to my aunt, which is another amazing person. She then moved to this place where she had a little house, which there is where we had like all of these events, parties. I mean, we would go to weekends. So just imagine the Sonoran Desert, you know, like a little house in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, it was just so spiritual, so relaxing. But what I'm trying to say, my grandmother was someone who prioritized that, like human connection and spending time with nature. Spending time with nature, connection. I mean, she didn't drink, she didn't smoke. You wouldn't believe it. She had better memory than me at 100 years old. Like, my wife couldn't believe that. She would remember the last time they saw each other and everything about her, because my wife being from the US, from Pittsburgh, I mean, she couldn't believe how my grandmother could be so sharp and remember those things. I mean, so yeah, I mean, she was a great role model. So I was like, wow. I don't know, I was just feeling, man, if I can be half as good as my grandmother in terms of her life quality, like, you know, just enjoying life. And because you would be amazed when you would just sit down with her and just talk. And I think I even remember, and holy moly, I wish I had those videos, because I remember that was probably when she was 99, 98. I had my phone and we were just doing like probably like a vlog, you know, like with my phone. We were just doing like an interview. Because I knew my grandmother, the amount of wisdom she had was huge. So I just wanted to hear some of her stories about, you know, like her regrets and things that she enjoyed, or some tips. So I remember her saying like, no regrets. I mean, things happen for a reason. And I remember she would make a lot of emphasis about not fighting, arguing, because I don't know how it is in the US, but in Mexico it's really common that families fight a lot, like siblings fighting over, like the inheritance, and a lot of conflict with, a lot of drama. So I guess my grandmother, being that old, realizing that money is just not the answer, she would say those kind of things like, don't fight, love each other, take care of each other. I mean, your family, and I guess she was right. Like, family is so important, and you have to not give up and do your best. But that's it, guys.